All right, everybody. We've been hearing these rumors for a long time. There was rumors about Clayface being the villain in the new Batman movie, and there might be a chance he still could be there. But right now, we do know that Clayface has been officially announced by DC to be joining the DC new James Gunn universe in his own standalone movie that will be part of the Saffron Gunn universe. And we're talking about him not being that much of a supervillain. They're saying she's a shape-shifting supervillain, but they're not going to target him as being a supervillain. They're calling this movie more or less a horror thriller tragedy, which in the days of this, of course, he was, an actor that morphed into this, and then he became Clayface over all this, toxic situation that went down, and he had to change, and then it's a tragedy in a lot of ways. But we're going to find out what's going to happen with this. It is coming in a feature film from DC Studios. Mike Flanagan was pitching this for a while. About a year ago, he was talking about making this. He had a meeting with DC, same time that James Gunn was kind of coming in, and they liked it so much. He did the up-and-coming Exorcist reboot. He worked on that too, and he's going to come in. They're still looking for a director. They haven't a release date for this, even though we haven't started shooting it. They're hoping to shoot in 2025. Release date is like September 11th of 2025. September 11th, 2025. Not that far away. I'm interested to see if this gets done in that fast. I mean, that's pretty quick. No, wait, I got the wrong date. It was 2026. And so it's coming before you know it. I love this idea. I love Clayface, a shape-shifting villain, but the whole thing, I know GR's gonna be some shit on this because GR's like, another villain movie? I think it's a cool character, and if you introduce this character this way, we can kind of get to know him better, find out about his acting career, how he becomes this way, maybe his tragedy, his downfall, and then we find out how he works into the movies. I think it's great. I love the idea. There's one thing that I will say. Who's going to be Clayface? Casting news is always a thing. Now, James Gunn did say something not too long ago that Alan Tudyk plays the voice of Clayface in the Harley Quinn series. But he did say that Clayface's voice would be played by Alan Tudyk moving forward. Now, they didn't attach Alan Tudyk to this announcement, but is Alan Tudyk our Clayface in this situation? I would fucking love that. I love Alan Tudyk. He's got to be. He's got to be, right? It's got to be Alan Tudyk, man. Gotta be.
Who is that?
Oh, dude, look him up. He's done everything.
I'm doing it now.
Alan Tudyk is the man.
Looks like Clayface.
That's the most backhanded compliment I ever heard.
Oh God, I didn't mean that in. No, I meant character.
Too late, Jonathan. You put it out there.
I'm not saying
it looks like after human shit.
No, you said it looks like human shit.
No,
I love this character.
After he got Clayface, I'm talking about. Doesn't matter.
He's done so many voiceover parts. He's in the DCU now. He's been in Creature Commandos playing Dr. Phosphorus, and he's playing more characters than that. He's, again, James Gunn said he would be moving forward as Clayface. I think he's Clayface in Creature Commandos as well. And on top of that, too, if everything James Gunn's doing now, and if it's connected to that universe, every character is a voice in Creature Commandos is the live action adaptation. So why are we just not announcing right now that Alan Tudyk is fucking Clayface? Why are we not just doing that right now? Because I think that's amazing. About damn time, Alan Tudyk. We're not playing for Alan Tudyk did a big character like this. About damn time. About damn time. This guy's been acting his ass off.
It adds to the hype train, Brian. I'm sorry. I'm jumping the James Gunn here, but like,
get in there. Get that gun away. Gun away, Mike.
I don't have anything to say.
It'll be another blank.
Thirsty Daddy. You're not excited about this at all?
I think it's going to be another James Gunn blank.
Well, Creature Commandos is all we've seen so far. You don't think this is going to be a hit?
No, I think Gunn's it's going to crash totally.
Oh, GR. But you know Clayface, right? He's been around since the 1940s. I think he was first introduced in the Batman lore. And he's been a big villain for a long time. Again, tragic undertaking, kind of like Joker in a way. Like, Joker falls into a bed of toxic chemicals. Clayface becomes this morphine kind of creature, but he uses his acting skills to become everybody. Isn't that an interesting character for the big screen, GR?
You know what? Brian, you know how I feel about trying to make the villain the star of a movie. I think it's a disservice to the Batman story.
Yeah, but this is so you don't believe this will be a hit at all, GR? You think this is gonna be a flop?
I think it's going to be as Enoch said. Batman's going to fight a living turd. Yeah, that about says it. I have not been impressed with anything I've heard from Gunn so far.
GR, come on, man. Have some Christmas joy for this, GR. It's a Christmas miracle. We got this. It's a Christmas miracle. You know, GR, Alan Tudyk. You like Alan Tudyk, though?
Yes.
And again,
so he got to play a turd. What, you know, that's his. But, hey, it gets him paid.
Aren't you happy for him at all? Come on, GR. Come on.
Well, he's getting paid. Yeah, I'm happy for that.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about this, GR. You're not going to go see Clayface kicking some ass? Morphing into
Brian.
Everybody. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see about that, GR.
I don't go see villain movies. I wouldn't see Joker. So I'm sure as hell not going to see this. Okay. At least in Joker, they had a good-looking woman with him.
Oh, yeah, Rob. Yeah, we did.
I don't know.
Kurt doesn't have one.
Yep, Trevor, get in there. Get up in that ass, Trevor. Tell us about what you think.
Position for everything.
Where did this go? Wait, what?
Hold on.
What? Trevor's getting in there. Trevor's getting in there.
Okay, so like I'm clicking through the links that you sent earlier, and I'm not finding it now. But I swear, when you sent them earlier, I read something in here that the Clayface movie is going to be a horror movie, and they were aiming for like a $20 to $40 million budget. And I think that's really fascinating and awesome. I mean, like, if the budget is really like 20 to 40 million, it's going to be a hit. There's no way they won't make that money back. But also, like, the fact that they're angling it as a horror movie, I don't know if it's going to be like, you know, like the Joker or like any of the Disney like villain movies. Like, I don't think it's going to be a villain centric movie. I think that Clayface is going to be the monster that like the whoever the other characters end up being or having to deal with. Like, you know, it's like Friday the 13th. Like, he's going to be the Jason, or Nightmare on Elm Street, he's going to be the Freddy Krueger. I don't think he's going to throw the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're making him the classical Universal monster kind of vibe.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. 100%. And I really hope that's what's happening. I fucking want that so bad. Or like, if I like to put it in terms of like something that we've seen more recently, Marvel did the Werewolf by Night.
Yes.
Years ago. Like, if it's something like that, that would be incredible.
And he pitched us a long time ago, too, over a year ago, and they loved it right away, they said. So, too, the fact that DC loved it beforehand, and they're tying it in, I love the idea. The Werewolf by Night thing would be great, Jonathan. I know you were getting excited about that, too. I would love that. I would love that.
Can I tell you who my pick would be to play Clayface? If I was an executive and I was making these decisions, and there are a lot of other things that would go into this, but can I tell you who I would pick?
Okay, who's? I can't wait to hear that.
Don't say it.
If I gave you,
G.O. Waters.
No. I mean, hey, you can audition. You can audition. You have a spot. You can audition. But if I gave you 1 million guesses, you wouldn't come up with this. But I'll give you 2. Give me 2 guesses.
Pierce Brosnan.
No. Younger, much younger, British.
Oh, don't you say Timothée Chalamet. Don't you say it.
I won't say that. Rupert Grint.
Oh.
Ron from the Harry Potter series. There are enough young people that grew up with that actor as knowing him as a beloved character, knowing him as somebody who is honorable, right? And how do you make a great villain? Make him a good guy that is shooting for his own greater good, right?
He plays joyful with darkness. Like, I see that casting entirely.
It's Ron. And Ron as Clayface, that is somebody that I think even Batman would think twice about punching in the face. Would you really want to hit Ron Weasley? Even when he deserves it, would you really want to do it?
I don't think you want to, but sometimes you might have to, though, Jonathan.
Right, and that's the point. I think Rupert Grint would make an amazing Clayface. He's got the chops, he's got the voice, he's got the look, he's even got the red hair, which in a weird way, cinematically, maybe can translate into this like reddish orangish clay thing.
I feel it.
That's a good.
I do
That's a good
feel
casting
it.
choice.
I still think though Alan Tudyk kind of has a little bit of that hint of that. red
Perhaps
too,
I
doesn't
just
he?
don't know who the hell that is.
Oh come on, Alan Tudyk's been kicking ass for years, man.
Maybe.
And he's been a voiceover actor, a million things.
Yeah.
If you go back in the day where he did what was there was a big sci-fi show he was part of. It was
Firefly.
Here's the thing:
Firefly.
you're a big fan of his, and you had to turn your head to the side and think about what that
like,
show was.
Firefly.
I bet
Because
there
he's
are
a character actor,
millions.
Jonathan. He's a character
done
actor.
so much.
He's embedded deep into the worlds that he plays in.
Correct. But when
He's
think
great
about
Resident Alien.
money,
Evil.
when I'm thinking
He was the
about
chicken
money-
in Moana.
Oh, is that who? Wow. Never mind.
You have heard his
Moana,
voice, and
yeah.
you're just like, what? That's Alan Tudyk.
What I'm saying is,
He's on that show
sometimes-
Resident Alien.
I love Resident Alien. It's so good.
Love
It's
it.
so
You know
good.
what that is.
He's the main guy in that.
The point is, when it comes to a studio is investing X amount of dollars,
I don't know. You got the look going on there, Jonathan. You can play him.
hey, look, you know what? I'll take it. I'll cash that check and I'll nail that role until they replace me with somebody better. But
With
the point
Chalamet.
is, fine.
Oh God!
No, that's fine. Or the guy that plays like Xerxes in the 300 movies, whatever. Point is, I think it's about the money and where can they draw the most money. Well, Rupert Grint hasn't really been a big star for a long time.
He's out there
But the
selling ice
people-
cream in his ice cream truck.
But the people who know that name and remember that name, especially the young ladies and the young boys that remember Harry Potter, they're going to maybe not show up to the theaters, but they'll spend $4.99 to rent that movie or access that show for 24 hours. And
He
that
was
might
great in
seem
The Servant.
laughable. Okay,
It isn't $4.99 anymore, Jonathan. It's,
whatever.
It's
Anybody-
like $25.
Anybody see The Servant
to
here?
rent it.
The M. Night Shyamalan show on Apple TV Plus?
And it was great,
No.
right?
Yeah,
they
4
did some
seasons,
good
4 or
sell
5 seasons.
memberships.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Stop trying to sell butts in seats. Start selling memberships or monthly subscriberships. I think that is a way to make money. That's what Broadway does. People say, oh, theater's dead. Is it? Not when Julia Roberts or any of these, huge screen stars, when they are there on stage live, people spend $650 to $1,000 per ticket. Stars to where people are
Yeah, we
naturally.
lost our host.
Oh, did we lose Brian?
No, he's just throwing it to you
He's
for a
just an empty
second.
chair.
He's
I was throwing it to you, man.
No,
Hey.
I'm just saying, bring people to their big stars, bring their big stars to them. But I think if we say go to the movie theater and you pay $20, $30, then you got to buy popcorn, whatever, parking, depending on where you live. That's a $75 night. Instead, pay $20 to $30 and have some nostalgia with your kids, with your spouse, whatever, and you're watching somebody that you know in a
Nostalgia bait.
story arc that you're familiar with. That's what I'm saying.
Nostalgia bait. I love what you're saying. Again, Rupert is amazing. I love him in Servant. He's like kind of like an alcoholic in there too, and he's like losing his mind sometimes, druggy. He almost dies in that show doing a bunch of cocaine in a bathroom. He overdoses. Like he has some cool stuff in that show. It's all about the devil is like taking over this house in a lot of ways. It's very fascinating. I think he's a great actor. I think he does get enough work, but I still think even over him, I still want Alan Tudyk. Because I love him so much. I think he deserves an opportunity.
What do I look up to see who this guy is, other than the chicken from Moana?
Firefly Allen. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Firefly is
Just-
the most iconic thing.
Just go to
but
IMDb
also-
and look at Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, you'll find something you recognize. He's been in so much stuff.
Yeah. Mike,
Brian,
what do you think, though?
Thank you for coming back to me. I wasn't sure you were going to come back to me.
Oh, I was coming back.
Because I pushed
coming
you
back.
away when you came to me initially.
I'm back.
the
Guess
most-
who's back?
Yep, you're going to be at a Diddy party before we know it, Brian.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No, I will not.
The thing about Alan Tudyk in this role, there's a handful of things that excite me about this project. One, we beg all the time. We say, there are voice actors that have roles that we would love to see in the live action versions to move them from just the voice version to the live action version, and we never see that. We never see that at all, Brian. Ever.
No.
So to just hear this happen on the one-term event is kind of incredible. Obviously, he's an existing movie star, an existing TV star, so maybe it's easier to have him make that jump from already being a known person, then into voice acting roles, and then, back into those kind of things. The other thing that is exciting to me, honestly, is seeing what they said, $20 to $40 million budget, Brian.
That's one of the things, like a smaller budget for this, a way to make this like kind of stand out in its own thing. And then I'm happy Trevor brought that fact up because I missed that when I was talking about it to the group. But yeah, it's smaller budget. Again, so they're calling it horror, thriller, tragedy. That's what they're calling it. So like the fact is, and they're still not trying to focus Mike on being a villain. They're like, well, he's a villain, but they're not going to make it like, oh, it's a Batman villain. It's more about the tragedy of the man. I'm
curious as to who is going to be Batman who's going to play Batman if Batman has a featured role and it's a live action version.
Well, will Batman be in it all?
What's that, Trevor?
Timothy Chalamet.
But will Batman be in it all?
You say that as a joke, but we already had Robert Pattinson, so that's kind of a lateral at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Pattinson. I liked Pattinson. I did.
Same.
Battinson, man. Say it right.
Batman doesn't exist at this point in the timeline. This is how Clayface becomes Clayface. Right. So there is no Batman.
Batman's at this point, he's
an orphan living with his butler whose parents just got killed.
Well, I think also the thing is that they don't want to actually say who Batman is because Pattinson played the Batman, of course, in the Batman. He's doing the Batman too. But James Gunn recently came forward that said he's contemplating Pattinson being the Batman in all of their new DC stuff. Now, originally, the thing is, though, can they lock him down to do this? I don't think he wants to do that many movies. Now, I will still say...
They shouldn't get him. It's not necessary. I like him, but I'm not on board.
Well, the reason why, Mike, is because Zaslav, who runs WB, says that's making money. The Penguin made money, so that should be our Batman. That's why that's happening. And James Gunn's like, no, that's not what it is. I'm like, your big boss putting pressure on your ass. That's what it is, James Gunn. Let's just say what fact is a fact. It's called a spade a spade. You know what I mean? The Penguin did fucking awesome.
Colin Farrell's kicking ass as a Penguin, and they're giving the credit to
Pattinson.
Yep. He's got to be pissed.
They're basing it all. I think I put this in the chat earlier. The people who are in charge of the money, they're not the creative ones. But the people in charge of the money, I worded it better in the chat. But it's like that's why there isn't enough imagination. Yeah. We don't just have to say this worked last time. Let's repeat it the next time. I don't think
that's money. That's the money, though.
But it's what the audiences have been trained to expect, and yet you just said yourself, "What if we had somebody new?" You said, "I love it when there's a new face."
I always do.
Right. So let's bring in. Oh, well done.
Jonathan, simultaneously, you're trying to move the whole art form over to the streaming platform, which is kind of the death of art as opposed to
like the death of art.
Yeah, what I'm saying is people buying into a whole platform rather than buying into one idea that motivates them to go and spend money on the particular unit that's involved.
Oh, no.
You feel my argument there?
I see your argument.
I was being hyperbolic there and saying the death of art.
But you're saying
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. I just get
what
you're saying. People are choosing to essentially give their money to, let's say, Netflix rather than the producers and directors and the actors in the project of a single story. People don't think that way. They think,
Right.
I love this film, let me watch this film. I love this show, let me watch this show. I don't think there's any emotional attachment to Amazon Prime.
I think if the monetary structure, I think if the monetary structure leads directly to the creative structure, honestly.
But that's the point I was making, is that the people in charge are thinking, well, if it worked before, it'll work again.
That's what always happens, Jonathan. Always happens.
Correct.
And that's why movies suck a lot of times. That's why we get these bullshit bombs a lot of times.
Because that's what happens when you try to blend business and art, or when you take a business person and put them in charge of art. And I'll even also say, fair enough, sometimes when you take an artist and put them in charge of business. It shouldn't be somebody who specializes in one thing to make decisions across the board. Yet, what is always going to be more important than art? And that's money. I think what they need to do is have somebody who's in charge of the finances, the capitalism, whatever, and then somebody who's like a James Gunn. But James Gunn doesn't have to bow down to the financiers. I think
he has to, though. I think they make him bow down, though, even though he says no.
But that's
we
not
have
my
this,
point.
though. We have this, though. I get your point.
I feel you, Jonathan. Yeah,
I feel you, Jonathan. I do feel you. It shouldn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. James Gunn is the man behind all of this, and he is.
He's got the money. He should make it himself.
Yeah, well, he does have the money, but he won't, because you know who's paying his bills? WB.
I think at his point, he's paying his own bills. WB is just adding hundreds of millions of dollars to his savings account, because
he's probably got a producer credit. You're probably right about that.
Already got it.
Yeah, he's got that Marvel money already.
Right, he doesn't.
It's Craven all over again. I don't think it's Craven all over again, Edward. I think this is different. Trevor, right? There's something here. There's some magic here, I think.
I mean, I don't think you should bet against James Gunn. And I mean, I know that GR is not a fan, but I mean, like, nobody had any idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, you know, when he made that movie. But James Gunn, I think, is a really good storyteller, and I think he's got a really good vision. And I don't think it's going to be Craven all over again, because, like, James Gunn actually knows how to make a movie, for one thing. But also for another thing, like, I think the low budget is very intentional for that, to that point, like, because they know that they can't guarantee it'll be a hit. But like at 20 to 40 million, like bringing back the mid-range like movie, I think is a great move. Because not everything needs to be a blockbuster.
I worked for James Gunn in Suicide Squad. I did some stunt work. By the way, I also walked off. I left. So you know, it's not like I'm in good standing with that whole company.
Is your last name Phoenix?
All right, that's fair.
Walking Phoenix. You call him Walking Phoenix?
Oh, well done, GR. Well done. I guess it is just Gatorade in that cup. But anyway, if you got hair on your balls, shave it. What? Okay. I'm too ADD, Brian, okay. I will tell you, he was a great director. And the vision that he has, he's always like not just 2 or 3 steps ahead, he's 2 or 3 like months ahead. Right? He understands that stuff, almost like a J.K. Rowling kind of thing. So yeah, he's great. Let me stop. I'll go too long. Keep going.
He's great. I love him so much. I'm excited for that Superman trailer. And I think what's happening here, again, we have another writer came forward with this idea. We're taking it under budget from what we've normally done when I spend $100 million on this. We have a great actor, Alan Tudyk. They haven't said it yet, but you have Alan Tudyk already, that you know that's already kicking ass as Clayface. And he already said, Alan Tudyk had an interview recently because James Gunn said that he was going to play the live action version. And he said, well, I've already played the comedic version of Clayface, and now I'm going to play a psycho serial killer version. I can't wait for that too. But they didn't say it was tied to this, but it only makes sense it's this, if you ask me. And you got a great actor, and he will do this forever if he can. He's been working for years in Hollywood. The idea of this movie being a Jason type movie, like Trevor said, I think is fantastic. GR won't watch it, but that's fine. GR is not the audience for this, I don't think. You know? Right, GR? You're the audience for this.
I like what Edward Hyde said. They're going from serial killers to talking turds.
Oh boy, I hit the button. Here he goes. Got hit.
What kind of
I'm
movies
just
you
getting
watch,
comments
GR?
from our viewers.
What kind of movies?
If I
you
saw a
watch?
talking turd, I would be fucking terrified.
South Park did it.
And that wasn't my comment. That was coming from one of our viewers.
Was that
true.
just Pepe that did this weird feature, like growl at Dillagaff?
There you go.
Fake
news! Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.
Control.